Yeah. All right. So we will be recording the meeting. If you do not wish to be recorded, please let us know in advance and we will suspend the recording. Secondly, we turn our cameras on if we can and keep ourselves on mute unless it's our turn to speak. And we volunteer not to speak on three topics: sex, religion, and politics. And without any prejudice or conditions, we completely discourage talking about any community or person or section of society in a derogatory or insulting manner. So with that, please put your hands together for our Honorable President, distinguished Toastmaster Saif Ali Sheikh.
Thank you very much, Acting Sergeant at Arms, DTM Talha. Fellow Toastmaster, once again, we are here to meet together under the umbrella of Quantum Leap Toastmaster Club. And before we are going to proceed, let me make one announcement that the COT for Division B is going to happen on 25th of February. So I urge that all the club officers should attend. So club should get 1 point toward the DCP. The detailed agenda will circulate it accordingly. Having said this one, let me ask our Secretary, Toastmaster DTM Sarge, do you have a minutes of meeting ready?
Yes, sir, I do.
Could you please share with us?
Yeah, sure. So for the Toastmasters, honorable guests, the last meeting was held on the 28th of January 2023. The best prepared speaker went to DTM Cynthia Stott. The best table topic speaker went to Toastmaster Rosie. The best prepared speech lead evaluator went to DTM Talha bin Hamid, and the best big three award went to Toastmaster Osama Ali as the table topic master, and of course the best modular evaluator once again went to DTM Talha bin Hamid. So that's about it from my side. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, DTM Sarge. Fellow Toastmaster, is any addition, deletions, or amendment into the minutes of meeting? If none, the minutes are adopted as a true record of the club. Let me ask our Mr. Vice President, do you want to share something about the DCP status of our club? Unmute yourself, DTM.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. So yes, sure. Let me just share the DCP status. Let me load it up on Toastmasters website. But we have, I believe, 3 goals that we have met. And in order to reach distinguished, we need to reach at least 5 goals. One of the very crucial goals is the membership, because without reaching our membership goals, even if we meet all other goals, we will not receive a distinguished certification. So let me just display the DCP for you. Just give me a second. So the first thing that we have to do is, as DTMs have said, that we have to ensure our attendance in the club officers training to score the vital points, and at least 4 ExCom officers should attend the club officers training. So that is the one goal that we need to meet. The second is that we need to have at least 3 more members at the end of this year versus what we had at the start of this year. So let me share the screen. There it is. Yes. So I hope everyone can see. Yes.
Yes.
So the first positive is that we started the year with 14 members and we still have 14 members. So that's an absolutely fantastic achievement. It cannot be overstated because most of the clubs around the world are struggling with membership right now. And for a specialized club like this to have this achievement is absolutely a tribute to its members and their commitment. Secondly, if you can see to the right, there is the goal status. We have 3 goals met. For distinguished, we need to reach at least 5. So the first one more will be inshallah met on the 25th when our members will avail the club officers training, and one more needs to come either from the education section, right, or from, yes, or maybe the new members section. So this is also something that we need to highlight, that starting from March or April, immediately, we need to start a renewal campaign. And I would like to bring it to the notice of our VP membership who's present in the meeting. And secondly, we also need to start recruitment campaign from 1st of April, because it's not useful to induct members before that, since we'll again need to ask them for renewals. If we induct them right now, we'll again need to ask them for renewal after April. So we need to start a renewal, a new membership campaign. And I'm very confident that we can easily achieve at least 2 or 3 new members if we put our minds to it. And that will also give us another goal, and we will inshallah reach distinguished. The most important metric, let me remind everyone, is that we need to have 17 members by the end of the year to qualify for distinguished. So over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President Education. It's a time to that VP membership should be activate himself to recruit the more member into the club. Do you want to share something you are planning or strategy, Vice President membership? Toastmaster Khurram.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this stage, one of the key area what we are trying to do is to engage our current members to communicate with their circles, to have more interesting guys on the theme, to understand all the geeks around the world. And I believe this week is a week where we can start communicating with them to start engaging further members. And I mean, by April, as VP Education said, that we need to start engaging the people. So that's the first step to engaging the network around us. So that's the first step we are going to start.
Very good, excellent. Mr. Tayer, can you share the financial status with us?
So financial status is, I don't have an update on that, but because we don't have a representation from Toastmasters World Headquarters. But so far, we have in our account, by my count, we have around 5,000 rupees that have been collected from the members with their renewals. So that is the update.
That is great. At least we are not in a deficit one.
No, we are not.
We are not in deficit. So club is in a good standing. That's great. By having said this one, let's move toward the education session. And to lead the education session, we have among us energetic and always available with a smiling face. Please put your hand together, welcoming Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster DTM Taj Sheikh.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh, fellow Toastmasters, honorable guests, and the geeks from around the world. We are actually used to saying around the world in a Toastmaster meeting, but actually in Quantum Leap, it's really around the world. We are almost spread in Pakistan, in India, in the Middle East, and so on and so forth. Even in the US, we are actually about to reach there, and that's the effort for the upcoming renewal cycle, I believe. And that's that's the beauty of Quantum Leap Toastmaster Club, and that allows us to communicate across cultures. And that, fellow Toastmaster and guests, is the theme of the meeting: communicating around across cultures, experiencing what different culture have to offer, and what we can learn from them, what we can we can adopt ourselves in our personal and professional life. So we'll talk more about that, but first I'll I'll elaborate more on what a Toastmaster meeting has. But I believe we are all Toastmaster here. We all know that, but just for the sake of formalities, a Toastmaster meeting has three segments. The first one is the prepared speech session, where the members have an objective with their speech, and they deliver it. Then the next one is the table topic speech, where members and the guests are supposed to speak on an impromptu topic. And the last one is the most important one, which is the evaluation session, where we know what we did well and what we can work upon. And to ensure the meeting goes well and goes very much smoothly, I have a team of role players with me. The first one is the language evaluator, which will be played by DTM Tala bin Hamid. So DTM Tala, can you please elaborate on your role?
Thank you so much. As a language evaluator, my duty will be to oversee the language used for various speeches and segments and to comment on their quality. Also, if I detect any grammatical errors, it will be my duty to report and suggest, but most importantly, not just report, but suggest corrections. As language evaluator, I'm also the guardian of the word of the day. And today the word of the day is earshot. Earshot. Earshot means the range of listening or the distance within which you can hear. In a sentence, we can use it like this, that within my earshot, I could hear fireworks, or we cannot hear something that is not within earshot. So consider earshot as the range of listening, and please try to use it in your prepared speeches and segments and announcements and table topics. Over to you, DTM staff.
Thank you very much, DTM Tala bin Hamid. So we're all supposed to be earshot throughout the meeting, and I just absolutely messed up the use of this word. So apologies. The next one is the timer of the meeting, who is the very much energetic Toastmaster Faizan Zafar. So Toastmaster Faizan, can you please elaborate on the role of the timer? You're on mute, I guess.
You're muted.
Sorry. Thank you very much. I'm highlight time of every person who present the speech. I indicate the when the green signal, when the time is go to end, and then yellow and then red, to restrict the person's his speech within a dedicated time.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Faizan, for that brief yet very much simple report, simple explanation of the role of the timer. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, we talk about communicating across cultures, but we also have those people who can't really communicate at all. About 5 to 7% of the people around the world are actually differently able. So you can do your maths on how much that is in numbers. To further talk about this and various other aspects, we have a very experienced keynote speech for everyone. It's by Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim. She is a Toastmaster since December 2021, and she's 2020, I believe, and by profession she's a speech language pathologist. So without further ado, Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Rajveer. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are.
Am I audible and visible? Am I still audible?
Yes,
Okay.
you are.
All right. So you don't need ears to hear. If I ask you something, what is the minimum, the frequency or decibels in which human ear can detect sounds? And I know it's a technical question, but as we know, the word of the day is earshot. So can I ask you this?
20 hertz.
Let us Google it.
Yes.
It's actually
Sorry, actually, I can't hear you. Plug in my earphone. Yes. DTM sir, you
it's
said something.
actually 20 hertz.
20 hertz. Yes, I think you have Googled it.
Yes, I
All
have.
right. All right. 20 to 20,000 hertz. This is the range in which the human ear can detect sounds. All right. Thank you very much. Move on. So what is hearing impairment? The other names of hearing impairment is deafness, or you can say hearing loss. So hearing impairment is a partial or total hearing loss in which we can even detect it from birth, which is the congenital hearing loss, or we can even see it at the later stage of life, which is, you can say, degenerative hearing loss. Hearing loss may occur in both ears, which is you can say the unilateral hearing loss, or it can be bilateral hearing loss. So yes, so percentage of children which who have hearing difficulty, or you can say which is in the world or in Pakistan. So according to CDC, which is the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, data has shown that approximately 1 to 3 per 1,000 children have hearing loss. Other studies have shown that 3 to 5 out of 1,000 children have hearing difficulty or hearing loss. The PSAS, which is based in Pakistan, it has shown that children which are born have around you can say 3% of children which are born have hearing loss. So this is the statistical analysis of the data, or you can say the hearing impaired children. So red flags in hearing impairment, or you can say the rule out criterion, that what can we see, or what are the red flags in which we can detect that the child or an adult may have a hearing loss. If you talk about the child, so you cannot see the babbling of the child, or you cannot see the first word on time, or if we can say that we can't even when something is fallen, or it has a loud noise, the child don't startle. So which we can call in Urdu chokna, right? So they don't do that. Even we can't see the eye blinking. So at times it's very difficult for a parent who is a new parent, I can say the firstborn, because they can't even detect these sound. They might be thinking that the child will start speaking, maybe the child has a delayed language. So this is not the case. At times there was a time, if I talk 5 to 7 years back, there was a time when there was a child 3.5 years old, and the parents were still waiting because the other family member told them that my kid also spoke at 3.54 years old. It's completely fine, he will start speaking, you don't have to worry at all. But they don't know there is a proper intervention, there's a proper you know uh, there's a proper way in which you can have guidance, and there is a surgical or we can say if the child has a congenital hearing loss, so there's a cochlear implant, which is the surgical process procedure in which the child can able to detect sounds, and then we have to start the therapy at once. We can't wait, we can't, because the critical age is 0 to 5 years, in which the child acquired language maximum in his acquired language in his immediate environment. So if I talk about the adult, so in adults you can see we can see there's they can complain that just turn the voice, turn it loud, or they are not able to hear it properly, they're telling the other person to speak loudly, or there is a discharge in the ear, or we can say there might be a blockage in the middle ear. So that needs to be checked. So now I will be talking about a case history in which we can say that I have taken this kid for almost 2 years being a student clinician, and my supervisor was Miss Amina Siddiqui, and we have worked with this child, and being a third-year student, we start we start practicing with the kids. So under supervision. And this was the case, and that child was a cochlear implant client. And it really surprised me, and I started working with him. But that child was not able to, he was not sitting at all, he has so many behaviors. So let me tell you, like, we will start from the beginning, and we'll move how things progressed, and how he was able to we could see some great prognosis. So the name M.S, he was born on 24th June, and age, he was 7.5 years old when he came to us. The primary language was basically Memni, but the mode of communication at home was Urdu. So the frequency was, they were taking bi-weekly sessions a week, and the therapy status was ongoing that time. Okay. So diagnosis and intervention. So the diagnosis were expected dysarthria. So basically, dysarthria, we could just write it expected, because when the muscles are weak, or we can say we can see some distortions or the slurred speech. So there might be a case like the child is able to, so that speech is not clear to us, and it makes us difficult to understand. So the way he was talking or babbling or approximating sounds, so it gave us that insight that he might have expected dysarthria. So intervention so started at 6.5 years, and he was taking therapies before AQH. He was taking there, and yes. So the birth history. So there was no illness, accidents, or medications, and he was a full-term baby. He was delivered normally, and the birth weight was also normal. So the medical history. So that one thing which you can see in front of you is that the seizures which hit him like at the age of 2.10 months. So the mother reported that he started speaking on time. There was one word which emerged on time, and he was a very smiling, or you can say a very active child. But then seizures at the age of 2.10 emerged, 2.10 months, and hospitalized. He was hospitalized for 3 days. And there is a test which is called BERA. It's called Brain Evoked Response Audiometry, in which it's done on the sleeping condition, where we test the neural pathways of the child, and we could able to detect is there proper functioning of inner ear, or the child could able to detect the sounds. So it's basically it give us the clear picture if the child is able to hear the sounds or not. A unilateral cochlear implant surgery took place in 2015. So this is the developmental milestone which is in front of you, and they all are emerged on time. So they are basically physical milestones. They are speech and language milestones. So these milestones came on time. As you can see, neck holding at the age of 6 months, reaching for object 6.8 months. So actually, a lot of times the mothers are even aware about it. I think fathers don't. They're all, because the mother keep on, checking each and everything, or they remember when my child started walking. I think father also remembers that. But when it comes to taking case history from the parent, so they always tell us, mother will tell you much in a more better way. So how about you ask the mother? Even when it comes to birth history or the developmental milestones, so we prefer to take the case history from the mother. Okay, so social, family, and educational history. So he was a grade 2 kid, and he has wonderful handwriting. So he used to write so well, and at one point of time I was having a pen and a paper, and the child snatched the pen from me, and I waited, and I thought why he would just wanted the pen, and he started writing his name, his parents' name, his sister's name, and I was astonished, because when it comes to oral test, he could not able to get the marks, or you can say, because it was difficult for him to say those words, but his cognition was amazing. And he was a social child, and he used to make friends easily. So informal speech and language assessment was done. So oral motor examination. In oral motor examination is basically we check our oromotor structures, which comprises of tongue, our jaw, even the oral motor musculature, like is everything proper? Is there a tongue tie or anything which, creating a hindrance in speech and language milestones? So we check on these things as well. So we could able to see that he was following the oral motor commands, like say ah, e, u. So where basically he was doing that, but there were inconsistent errors and misarticulations in the speech. So it was an unintelligible speech. So he was unable to tell us the functionality of objects, or even when I was presenting the concrete objects to him, cup, spoon, plate, he was able to, he was facing difficulty in producing those words. Moreover, when it comes to labeling pictures symbolically by demonstrating action with gestures, like we had to teach him gestures. So we could not able to, get any functional use of language, or there was no functionality. And even he was not able to elicit the even the other objects which were presented to him. So I think I would not go in much detail with this, but they're basically the standardized checklist which we have, implied, or you can say we have filled these forms where we check the child the very first time, and with time how the things progressed, and started to ask certain questions, that if the mother has seen certain changes in the in his environment, or is there any change in the environment, or the child, if the mother has seen certain positivity, or after taking therapies, what was have you seen any difference? So this is basically these forms comprises of, and even we check with the hearing test and all, keeping those into consideration. So session design, so it was across the table setting, that I am sitting here and the child is sitting there, so he is in front of me. Continuous reinforcement, so if I'm getting something from him, he's trying to elicit those sounds or words, so I will give him the reinforcement, I will blow bubbles for him, or I will give him something which is tangible, or if he likes something to eat. So the child, what we did, I think, yeah, it was the primary reinforcement. The primary reinforcement is basically the edibles which we can give the child on spot. So he really likes makai, and it's also healthy, so we used to give him that. So it was an individual therapy, and it was a cyclical approach. The cyclical approach is basically, the project goal is pursued in several short, or you can say successive, consecutive cycles, and that goal is maintain, or relatively short, and it's over the period of 1 month, and the goals keep on changing. And it was an easy, hard, easy. If there are 6 targeted goals in the session, or 7 objectives of the session, so easy activity, then hard, then easy, then hard. So it's like that. So teaching strategies are in front of you. So these are all technical terms. So if it's in front of you, I just want to highlight it, or you can say I will just quickly brief it for you guys. Cute speech is basically a combination of hand gestures, hand shape, or hand positioning, where the child could able to see our hand, the mouth positioning, or if I'm saying ball, so b is bilabial, b sound, because the b sound is produced with the 2 lips, like b, bilabial. So if we are saying ball, so ball, so the child could able to see b and l sound in the end, ball. So it's like the cute speech. So there are a lot of cute speech, like there are different set of words, and we used to incorporate cute speech within the session. So target specific feedback, in which we were telling the child the desired, if we are getting the desired feedback, or you can say we have presented the stimulus, and the child is saying it to, like, is responding to us. So if we're saying the g sound, because it's glottal sound, so he used to keep place the hand here. So we can, if you all could place the hand here and say g, so you could feel the vibration g. We can feel the vibration here. So how about, so it's the target specific feedback, like for in order to produce the g sound, you could able to, you can hear the vibration of the vocal cords. So Makaton, it's like it helps with language and communication. Moreover, it uses signs, symbols, and it's basically we also use speech in it, and it's in a grammatical word order. So milieu teaching is basically where we set the session in such a way that child is, motivated to, you can say, to be in the session, or it's set in a way where the child could able to manipulate, or it's involving. Maybe you can say that the child really likes bubbles, or the child really likes something, a dollhouse. So we keep it or set it in a way that the child would able to see that and keep and ask for it. I want this, or what do you want? So the communication starts from there. So wait time is also very important when we have given the stimulus to the child. So the clinician or the caregiver has to wait and for the child to respond. It's also called latency period, in which there is a gap between the stimulus being presented and the response which is gathered from the child. So it might have maybe it might give you an understanding. The child will have the time to process the information, or you can say that yeah. So process, moreover, it has given them the proper ability to understand, oh, it's my turn to talk. So cues and prompts are very important as well, where we are giving the child a little understanding, because the child might know what the word is, but we have given the partial word cue. There's a ball and I'm saying ba. So the child knows it's a ball. Shaping, expansion and extension, and modeling. So modeling might be if I'm presenting a ball and I'm saying, oh, let's catch the ball, let's throw the ball. So I'm also mapping that visual representation, like how the ball has been thrown, or how we catch the ball, so that he might associate with the action. Expansion and extension is also very important, where we expand the utterance, like the child is saying baby cry. So, oh, the baby is sad, the baby is crying. So we try to add on certain things, and moreover make it grammatically correct for the child. So initial therapy goals were detect environmental noises and sounds and locate the sound source, because that's very important, because when the child is born, he started to listen from the gestational period, where he is in the mother's womb, and he started to listen to the sounds. But now 7.5 years old, and at the age of 3.5, auditorily discriminate between different environmental sounds, discriminate between different intensities, and identify and auditorily discriminate the link 6 sounds. So link 6 sounds is basically a, e, u, sh, and sound. So it's basically from 250 to 8,000 hertz, where the entire, you can say, our you can say that we have our intensity of sound, and where the human ear can detect sounds. So it's from that range. So there were several different long-term goals and short-term goals. Long-term goals persist for a year, and short-term goals are for over the period of 3 to 6 months. So actively listen and follow verbal instructions, generalize the concept of action words. So these were the set of long-term goals, so that the child could able to functionally convey his message across, or transition using single words or phrases. So this short-term goals, link 6 sounds I've already told, and identify and produce nominals and carrier phrases. So carrier phrases, basically the boy is running, the boy is eating, the boy is drinking. So the carrier phrases, the boy is, and the actions will keep on changing. Basic opposites, conjunctions. So these were all this set of short-term goals. So it's important, the effect of therapy. So this therapy was for almost 2 years, and this therapy is still continuing. But I graduated from there. I'm no more his clinician, but this was the effect of therapy. The child was just used to sit for like 15 minutes in the session. Now even for 45 minutes he used to show or demonstrate the on-seat behavior, and escape behaviors were shown throughout the session. He used to jump, he used to go all around the place. But now he uses to appropriate language or gestures to convey his message across. Non-compliance towards clinician, and now there was a compliance. Socialize new people and did not greet familiar people. Now he started doing that. And so he used to label body parts. We used to see the vocalizations. So one step, he used to follow one step. Now he moved to 2-step, 3-step instructions. Moreover, linguistically complex task was difficult for him, but now he started doing that. Yes, he started doing actions, and he used to comprehend basic position words by giving verbal cues, and he used to even respond to yes/no questions. So prognosis. So there was a good prognosis. That he was consistent for therapies. There was regularity in school. So there was a lot of parents' motivation, and they could see the great amount of progress in their child. And there was a carryover at home. and he used to accompanied by mother in every session. So the obstacles which we could able to see was stimulability of sound. So there were certain sounds which was even difficult for him to produce. So lack of interaction with same age peers, there was inconsistent errors, and the neural plasticity, the critical age window, because the child was 7.5 years old. So the recommendations which we provided to the mother was, keep on taking the bi-weekly sessions, keep on coming for the therapy, labeling or not of nominals and actions in his immediate environment, keep on labeling them, give him that stimulus in his immediate environment. So carryover of expressive and receptive language tasks, provide language in all daily activities. And so we even recommended formal assessment, which is PLS5, preschool language scale, to be conducted for an in-depth receptive and expressive findings. So one thing I just need to conclude here. So this was basically my entire case presentation. And I just want to conclude here that you might have seen, or you might have seen certain people saying deaf and dumb. In subcontinent, it's still being used. It's totally insane actually, because when the child cannot able to hear, it doesn't mean that he is receptively or cognitively he is very bad, or he is unable to understand you. They are even much more brighter than us, like when it comes to understanding gestures or understanding the cues or anything. So it's very important, because we teach them sign language. Even there is an entire program Connect Here. We have several different sets of the courses where we teach them the sign language, where and they're able to properly communicate. They're able to convey their message across. They're earning. They're doing everything. So it's totally insane to call them deaf or dumb. They are acceptable to, they're accepting it that yes, we are deaf community and we're okay to be called deaf, but not the other word. So this is what my entire presentation, or you could say the entire presentation or the topic was. So thank you very much for listening to me, and it was a great honor speaking here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmasters Sara Ibrahim, for that very much enlightening keynote speech. So we have about 5 minutes for question and answer. So if anyone has a question, now is the time. Yes. Toastmasters.
Yes, I have one.
Sudarshan. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody else was asking, so please go ahead.
Yes. I have share one story of my family, and my nephew was diagnosed with autism a few years ago. So I know about that thing, about hearing thing. So we also start therapies from multiple institutions, and but issue is that I think that these kind of the child have a ability to do something, means they are artists, they are good in writings. So for career building, uh, these guys not lose his life. So we need to build one skill in life, so as he care his life whole. So how we do on this topic, what we do can do as he learns something, some art, something, so he can pursue his life and pursue his career. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Fazan, for such a wonderful question. So being a speech and language therapist, we also work with children having autism spectrum disorder. So we can, because ASD itself has a broad range of spectrum, which we can see if a child is, showing any a spectrum, or there's no eye contact, or you can say if they will not respond to their name, or there are a lot of characteristic features. They might have a fixation towards objects, they might be fidgeting, they have repetitive behavior, or they align objects in certain way. So there might be something where they are good at. Like every child has strengths and weaknesses, every child has that. So if he's taking therapies, it's the job of a therapist or the caregiver, or you can say the teacher to analyze or to specify what strength he has, and work upon that, make it polish, or because it's an ongoing process, the therapy itself. So but he will definitely improve, and I'm saying that, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have TTM Sudarshan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Zahra. That was extremely informative. A question to you: how do you manage communication to the caregivers of the patient that is going through this process? Because in your opinion, do you believe that the caregiver's role is just as important as the patient itself? And if yes, what are the tips you will give them?
Oh, wonderful question. Wonderful question. Very thought-provoking question. I would say parental counseling is so important. And when it comes to, because, when we as a therapist are there just for a 45-minute session, 30 to 45-minute session, and it's being done like bi-weekly or even thrice. So it's the role of a parents, or you can say the caregiver, to generalize those goals at home. So that's the main, and we even guide them after a session. We give the parent those 10 to 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and guide them that this was the primary goal, this was the objective of the session, and this might be certain techniques or strategies which you might imply at home. If you're teaching the concept of on and off, so you might give him the concept through switching on the light, or putting it like on off, because we are teaching the child with concrete objects, and it's not in his immediate environment, or you can, or outdoor. So you might, if he's drinking from a cup, you can label it's a cup, let's drink. And if you are teaching a child the functional use of objects, so it might be give them more clarity. Oh, we are drinking from a cup, it's a cup. It's a spoon, we eat from a spoon. So like it's very important, and it's, you can see, we being a clinician can see great amount of progress in those children where the parents are very willing, where they are also generalizing those goals at home, and where the parents are not motivated, they don't have time for their kids, and they're not working with their child. So that window, or you can say that there is no that much prognosis could not be seen. So that what I can say from your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next, we have Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur Malik. So over to you, Toastmaster Ahmed. You're on mute if you are saying something. No, you aren't audible.
Okay, audible now?
Yes, perfectly audible.
All right, I just bought these new heads from Daraz and the mic is not working. So, Toastmaster Zahra Ibrahim, I'm really thankful to you for explaining that much about speech therapy and how we can make a better life for our children. I'm facing some problems with my daughter. She is 2 years old, and I am. She is not speaking any word these days. What she do is, whenever she gets ready for every day for anything, she goes to the mirror and she looks into it and talks to herself like, oh yeah, like this. But she does not speak any word. Initially, we thought it's just a phase and it would pass on. She has elder cousins in the house who speak very fluently, so that's not a problem that she is not being talked to. But what we see is that initially she spoke a few words like mom, 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 mom initially. And one day she was asking for water and I asked her, Pehle koho pani. And she said, pani. And but she do not speak any other word since
So,
then. So,
is that mum consistent for one word? Like agar mum कह रही है, So she's saying it for pani or it's for everything?
It was initially when she was 1 or 1.5, and she said it for everything. I think she
Okay,
was asking for her mother,
okay,
but then she stopped doing that. And currently, she do not say any word, but I know she can hear us
mhm,
because she watches TV with very much attention, and if she hears that a TV is switched on in another room, she instantly goes to that room to watch the TV. So she can hear. We are sure of
okay.
that.
So I just want to clear something, sir, that Mr. Ahmed, that there's something, we can say that the child is listening. Alhamdulillah or mashallah, she might be listening, but there are certain chances because we have a certain set of, ranges, like mild, we can say mild, moderate, severe, profound. So they are type of hearing loss. So I will not say that she might have a hearing loss, Allah na kare, but you definitely might, have a check on that so that this thing might be rule out. एक चीज rule out हो जाए कि ये चीज है ही नहीं, right? And what you can do is that you start speech therapy because she is 2 years old, and you can see that when it comes to comparison, or you can say when you see the cousins in front of her, sorry, so you can able to analyze that she is behind, right? So if we give him that language rich environment, or you can say we start with therapy, so it will give her more of a good understanding, or you can say we start teaching her the object's name, or you can say what, and we can even guide you as well. So I think this is time, and this is a wonderful age for a child to start with therapies, because it is the critical age where the child start to acquire language from her or his or her immediate environment. So I think you should not waste a single minute and start taking therapies, speech therapy. This is what I can guide you for now.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Zara. We are about out of time for the
All right.
questions, and
Dan has a question as well. Okay, it's
yes,
fine. I can type it there.
that's a very 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 comical one. that that is that is usually the case in most parts parts of the world. So yes, that's the thing. And again, if anyone else has a question, they can just type it
Thank you.
in the chat box. And also Toastmaster Zara is very much accessible to all, so you can easily reach out to her. So, fellow Toastmasters and guests, next is the segment of Geek of the Week. And since our Geek of the Week is not present in the meeting, I thought,
I can I can do Geek of the Week.
Or
okay,
even I can do if.
Okay, let DTM Sudarshan do it. Great.
okay, DTM Sudarshan, over to you.
Thank you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, how many times has it happened that you have the words, you have the knowledge, but you can't say it? That is exactly what happens when you are confronted with communication to a group of people who don't look like you, who don't eat like you, who don't smell like you, who don't speak like you. What I'm talking about is the joys and the pitfalls of communicating across cultures. Now, don't assume that I'm trying to steal our Toastmaster of the Day's thunder. I'm going to narrate a series of incidents which I have encountered. The first one of it, which I've spoken about in a couple of my speeches at Quantum Leap as well, was my first experience in the Middle East. I was freshly minted expatriate into Middle East, and I was on my first solo journey to the mall. And within my earshot were a bunch of people standing around and speaking. And I went to one of them and said, "Excuse me, can you tell me where the toilets are?" The guy went, I was shocked beyond comprehension. Why would a normal functioning human being not tell another fellow human being where the toilet is? I again asked him, where is the toilet? The guy went like this. And you know, in most of our parts of the world, in India and Pakistan at least, when the head moves from left to right or right to left, that means you are saying no. And I was thinking, what is wrong with this guy? Why would you not tell me where the toilet is? I then asked another fellow who happened to be looking like us, where is the toilet? That guy didn't even speak. He just pointed in that direction. So I went, did my business, came out. I was very angry with this fellow. And I came back and asked him, why could you not tell me where the toilet is? That guy saying, shoe? I thought he's asking me for my shoes. So I said, no, my shoes are dry. I have been trained in how to go to the toilet from when I was a little boy. This guy saying, shoe? And again, I'm saying, what is wrong with him? That's when I realized the poor fellow didn't know English and I didn't know Arabic. But we were trying to communicate with each other. Now, this is a common pitfall that we all encounter. And we all live to say the tale another day, which becomes hilarious. But I remember this one incident very vividly. And this incident demonstrates how, without knowing language, you can communicate. I'm talking about an incident that took place way back in the 1970s. A friend of mine, he was living with his family in a remote village in Rajasthan. They were from the south of India, had no understanding of Hindi or Urdu, which is the spoken language in that part of the country. And the father had been transferred to this part of the world. The lady in question, my friend's mother, had to borrow from the neighbor's house a little bit of imli or tamarind. I don't know how many of you know what imli is. Imli is what we add in our food to give the tanginess in it. So this lady went to her neighbor's house, who incidentally turns out to be somebody from the east of India, where again they don't speak the same language. And this lady goes to her and says, can I borrow some imli? First in English, then in her broken Hindi. Then she tries to speak in other languages. Both of them are not understanding. Then she does this. She again does this. Do you have that? The moment she did that, the other lady said, oh, and in her language, she mentioned, that's what you want. And she gave her 100 grams of imli. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, what I'm trying to say is communication verbally is just 22% of total communication. The remaining 78% of communication comes out of everything else that we don't see, but see. We don't hear, but hear. We don't observe, but feel. And this is coming out of everything else which is not related to your auditory abilities. And therefore, it is extremely imperative that we as communicators take that into account, especially on a forum like this, where we are coming towards each other through a screen. So a simple gesture, a simple facial expression, a simple nod can communicate different things to different people. And this is where a good communicator differentiates himself from a great communicator. A good communicator will have prowess over language, will have control over the content, will have the ability to speak well. But a great communicator will say as much by saying and equal amounts without saying. And that's a communicator who will cut across barriers, cut across boundaries, and ultimately reach the kind of people that he or she wants to reach. Which is why when we look at minds who don't say a single word, any city of the world you will go and you will find these people gesturing. And these gestures, you will understand, I will understand, everyone else that has got visual abilities will understand. Similarly, there are communicators who communicate just through sound, especially if you go to some learned souls, they might not even say anything. They will just make a little noise, and that noise will communicate to you a lot more than what everything else communicates. This is where we as communicators need to evolve to get to that point where we do not rely only on the 22% abilities, because that 22% is like the key to the door. Once you open the door and entered the room, the rest of the 78% has to be through all other means, all other methods, all other abilities, all other attributes. And this is where we as Toastmasters, we as communicators, we as parents, we as lovers, we as brothers, we as sisters, we as citizens of a nation can make a world of a difference. And the one key element in all of this, if you want to be as adept at communication as the best of them are, the only way to do it is to keep your faculties completely open. And that means you look to observe, you listen to absorb, you interact to elevate, and ultimately you communicate to create. If you choose to put all of these things together, hey presto, out will be born a master communicator. So thanks for having me as your Geek of the Week. I shall now hand the stage back over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, DTM Sudarshan, for that impromptu yet a very inspiring and humorous Geek of the Week session. And at the moment my camera has actually avoided me to communicate across cultures via videos. So you and I need to widen your range of earshot and try to understand the vocal part. TDM Tala, you want to say something?
Yes, how did you know? Okay,
I-
I unmuted myself. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. There is one alert regarding the agenda, and that is that Toastmaster Moazzam Azam, who is supposed to speak first, he does not have electricity right now. So he is waiting for it to come back, and as soon as it comes back, he will join to speak. Meanwhile, we can have the other project first, and for the other project too, Toastmaster Khurram, this is an alert for you that one of the panel evaluators has not joined, so you can appoint another one. And by mistake, I made you one of the panel evaluators as well, so you need to replace yourself. So those are two little bits of alerts for everyone. And over to you, DTM sir.
Thank you very much, TTM Tala, and of course you would say to you will actually fund the second project to be first, because the second project is by none other than DTM Tala bin Hamid, and it's supposed to be evaluated by the lead evaluator and his team, and the lead evaluator is Toastmaster Khurram Chisti. So Toastmaster Khurram, over to you to explain the the speech objectives and also to introduce your team. Toastmaster Khurram, are you
I
with us?
am I am there, but sorry, I was on mute. DTM Talha, I didn't receive the evaluation form.
Oh,
Yet.
apologies. It's evaluation and feedback one. Let me send it to you. Just wait a few seconds. Please check your WhatsApp, Toastmaster Khurram, and sincere apologies for this.
Unmute yourself.
I was mute. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of the speech is to member to present a speech on any topic, receive a feedback, and apply the feedback on the second speech. The member is to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received on the first speech, and that's two speeches to complete this whole project. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, and I have the panel evaluators as per the given agenda.
Actually, the panel evaluators, I think Toastmaster Osama is missing in that, and you are also one of the panel evaluators, so maybe you need to make some changes to that.
No worries. I believe if Toastmaster of the day, if you want to take the auditory part of the panel evaluator.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so let's move on.
Okay, so you're also the structural evaluator. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, after more than 3 decades, I made a significant decision, and that was to start riding a bicycle again. The first thing I discovered was how difficult it is to purchase a bicycle, in Pakistan at least. First of all, we don't have a domestic bicycle manufacturer anymore. In my childhood, there were several, and there was a lot of range and variety available. In my city, the only place now where you can buy bicycles is a market on an island that deals in discarded objects from ships and other transportation vehicles. How did that come to be? I fail to understand. How a huge city like Karachi does not have a significant number of bicycle riders, again, it is beyond me. The second shock was the price. I discovered that even a used bicycle with a lot of flaws and not that good of a condition cost at least 20,000 rupees. which is not a huge sum of money by any means, but much higher than what you would pay or expect to pay for a bicycle. Nevertheless, with the help of my best friend, I managed to secure the bicycle and brought it out on the road. And that's when I realized that I had made several grievous miscalculations. The first of which is our roads are not meant for bicyclists. And the second discovery was when the traffic is ruthless, it is even more ruthless for bicyclists and pedestrians. And you only realize it when you are in that position. So when I merrily trotted along the road on my bicycle, taking in the breeze, taking in the sights and sounds, I felt like a young girl all alone on the road at night. Everybody was coming to attack. The trucks, the rickshaws, the cars, the pedestrians. It seemed as if I was invisible to everyone. And when it came to signals and crossing the roads, any bicyclist knows that that is always like putting your life on the line. You have to make so many calculations. What is the speed of my bike? What is the speed of the oncoming car? And what is the speed of pedestrians that are about to hit me, or I am about to hit them? And that's when I realized that finally time had come to improve the bicycle. We cannot change the roads. We cannot change the traffic. What we can do is change the bicycle. So I started thinking, okay, the first thing a bicycle needs is a horn or a bell. Okay, that is done. The second thing it needs is a headlight and a tail light. Why? Because most of the time I'm riding the bicycle at night. And riding a bicycle at night without any lighting is next to suicide. The third thing I felt it needed was to protect me from the elements, from the sewer water, from the filth, from the polluted air, was some sort of a windscreen. When I installed the windscreen, I then felt that for short distances, bike is okay. But for longer distances, look at me. Do I look like I can ride a bike for more than 2 or 3 kilometers without collapsing of a heart attack on the road? If I do look like that to you, congratulations. You are so trusting and positive. So then I thought that maybe a little bit of an engine, a motor along with the pedals would do very well for the bicycle. I installed that. And finally, I thought that when turning, the two wheels present a lot of problems. The bike is so prone to falling over. It can go out of balance. So why not add 2 more wheels? So after all those additions were done, I looked at my bicycle. And it wasn't a bicycle anymore. It had turned into a car. And while I could not have the pleasure and privilege of riding a bike anymore, at least now I did not feel like an ant among giants on the road. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid, for that interesting speech. And now we'll move on to the lead evaluator, Toastmaster Forum, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. What a catching speech, I would say. The way it started, that finally I have decided to ride a bicycle. So from the first moment, you engaged the audience very well. You highlighted some key areas of the childhood, which is very interesting. I can totally resonate that as well, although I'm not as old as you are. Anyhow, the part of the young girl in the night everyone want to attack was quite interesting, and at the end, the aunt among the giants was a good catchy line. The overall structure of the speech was nice. Few improvements I would like to suggest is, again, if you are adding some modulation into your sound, when you are saying that there is no bike available, there's no manufacturer available, or the prices are so high, even though the bikes are in a bad is not in a new condition. So that sadness, that the pain should be, should be resonating from the sound as well. A bit voice modulation could help as well. So if you are standing, if you are adding some body gestures, that okay, I decided to ride a bicycle again, right? So those can, be more interesting things to be, to add some, cherry on the cake what you have already done. So but going in further into the details, I would request first of all our my team, and for the first part is visual, and that is with DTM Saif Ali Sheikh for the visual part of the speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Khurram Saeed Chishti, and in particular, DTM Talha bin Hamid. DTM Talha, you well managed and focused yourself in the center of the screen, left side, right side, and the top side. But to me, if you can stand yourself and act like that you are riding a bicycle, that will give an impact that you are really aren't among the giant. So I prefer, if I'm your place, I will stand up and I will use the stage properly and demonstrate that I was riding the bike, and I was adding the wheels, and the bike become a car. So there are certain stages over there. So that demonstration is missing as per the speech. This is my personal opinion. If you can add it, that will give the added value to your project. Over to the Toastmaster Khurram Saeed Chishti.
Thank you, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. For the auditory part, we'll ask DTM Saad Shoaib.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Forum, and of course DTM Talha bin Hamid. Your speech had humor, and it actually engaged us all. Maybe the thing you can work upon with the auditory part is that you mentioned trucks, cars, and various other unpleasant stuff of the roads of Karachi. Maybe you could have brought in the sound effects of those cars and trucks and make it more exciting and also entertaining for the listener, but overall a job well done once again, and it's back to you, Toastmaster Khurram.
Thank you, DTM Saad, for the receptables, Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim.
Yes. Am I audible and visible?
Toastmasters,
Okay. So
your video is stuck, but we are you're audible. Please go ahead.
yes. Okay.
Yeah, you are audible.
Complete statistical analysis of purchasing a bicycle to adding two wheels in it at the end and turning out to be a car. So I would say everything in between was magical, or I would say the structure, the sequential pattern, and the detailing which you have incorporated within your speech was incredible. And I would just suggest if you could have added more, vocal variety or some purposeful pauses in between, or even throwing a question to the audience and asking them what they could do in such situation, or it would have added more value, or you would say it would be more interactive. And although it was a wonderful speech and I thoroughly enjoyed it, thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Zara. For the structural part, the speech started with a good catchy introduction going into the body and saying that what you have to do to improve your bicycle and what are the challenges you are facing at the middle of the night. I would suggest that if some moral is being added into the story, that can be taken by the wider audience, and a key learnings out of that and what we can do from all the story that could be an adding value. I will move back to the lead evaluator. So over to you, lead evaluator. Thank you, Toastmaster Khurram. So now as an overall, GTM Talha, a great speech, a very interesting speech, a very catchy speech. You have heard all the panel evaluators. I will ask you to give your feedback or the module evaluation.
Thank you so much. I have good news and bad news. The good news is that I found the evaluations extremely helpful. And let me make a confession. I worked on the content, but I had not planned out the delivery part, and that is what showed. So I received such great ideas that I wish I was able to compete in speech contests and make this a contest speech. So that is a good news. The bad news is that I'm going to do this speech again with all this feedback. Over to you, lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, GTM Talha bin Hamid. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Khurram and DTM Talha bin Hamid for that speech and also the feedback. Next, we have Toastmaster Mozam Azam, who will be delivering a speech for the very first time in Quantum Leap, I believe, and he will be evaluated by the lead evaluator, who is DTM Saif Ali Sheikh, and his panel of modular evaluator, and it's over to you, sir, to please explain the speech objectives.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. And let me just recap it that the visual part is going to take care of DTM Saad, and auditory is Toastmaster Khurram, perceptible Toastmaster Tala, and structural is DTM Saif again. And I'm going to lead evaluators, and Toastmaster Mozam is attempting the ice breaking. The purpose statement, the purpose of this project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structures of public speech. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Mr. Timer, the time for this is 4 to 6 minutes, okay?
4 to 6. 4 is green, 5 is amber, and 6 is red.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lead Evaluator, and it's over to you, Toastmaster Mosam.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Am I audible?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. This is Toastmaster Mosam Azam. I'm going to deliver my icebreaker. Wait, I'm going to deliver my icebreaker of my second pathway. Means I am done with one pathway within 6 months. So many of you know who is Mosam Azam, but let me tell you with my words who is Toastmaster Mosam Azam. I'm gonna share with you my life. My life consisted on 3 phases. The first phase is very, very cute phase, like that innocent phase of my life. At that time, I was innocent. I don't know how to teach someone. I don't know what to do. And that was the beautiful phase of my life. Because what I have to do, eat, drink, enjoy, sleep. Eat, drink, enjoy, and sleep. And I was enjoying my lives. Suddenly, the result of 8th class came, and I entered in the second phase of my life, the board exams. And I was shocked what I have to do right now. And I was the backbencher. I made a group of my school. And I named that group SSG. Anyone would like to guess what that SSG means? Anyone? Okay, let me tell you. That SSG means Special Shararti Group. And I was the leader of that group. As everyone knows, what is the result of backbenchers? What is the future of backbenchers? That I just got 65% marks in my 9th class. And everyone be like, here was your future doing here. And now you can't be as successful because you only get 65% marks. Wait, how you can consider me? How can you consider my future on these marks? And one of my very intelligent and glamorous cousin said to her mother that, Mama, nobody can beat me. And at that time, the spirit of my Toastmasters started. The spirit of Toastmasters started. And I guessed, I bet with her that I'm gonna compete with you and Joe will be my junior. I studied day and night. I had a beautiful teachers. I had wonderful teachers that they guided me what I have to learn and what I have not learned. And she was doing on her own. And when the result of the matriculation examination started, I got 955 marks and she got 938. And I was like, hey, you were saying that no one can compete with you? Nobody. Don't underestimate the power of a boy. Don't underestimate. Because we men. You are women. We are women. So that was the. And in 8th class, I selected that I will be a CA. There is another part why I decided, because my mother was said that this is the CA. This is the CA. My mom was saying this is the CA, and I decided that I want to be a CA. I joined a packed group of colleges. At that point, I met with a very humble personality, Toastmaster Mazullah Khan. From that, I joined Toastmasters and Toastmasters. And what Toastmasters gave me, people used to ask me that, what Toastmasters gives you? I used to say, I have 25 plus certificates of Toastmasters. I am the Vice President membership of CA Affiliates Toastmasters Club. I am the Assistant Area Program Quality Director. I am the member of District 122 Events Team. I'm the member of PR team. I'm the member of membership growth committee team. And just because of Toastmasters, in a recent days, University of Lahore informed me, University of Lahore invited me to be an instructor and to guide their graduates. Believe me, they are BS students, MS students, MPhil students, and I'm the only student of CAP. I was giving them instructions. That is what Toastmasters gives me. That is what Toastmasters is giving me. And in a very few days, coming few days, you will see a big responsibility on my head as well. That is quite confidential, but you will see a great change in Toastmaster Muazzam Azam. And now, I would like to end with a quotation that I always used to say that we have a lot of knowledge, but we don't know how to implement that knowledge in practical life. That's what Toastmasters used to teach us. We are Toastmasters, we learn by doing. Thank you so much. Over to TMOD.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Muslim, for that energetic speech. And now it's over to the lead evaluator, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh.
Unmute myself first. Thank you very much, Mr. Icebreaker, Toastmaster Muazzam Azam. What a wonderful speech you have delivered with the confidence and lot of variety. And throughout there was a smile on your face. That is the values, that shows that you are confident and well prepared. So keep it up, the smile on your face, and spread the smile around you. By having said this one, you said about the 3 phases of your life when you were the cute and the crush was your teacher, and when you were the babe boy and backbenchers, and then you moved toward the SSG group. All the boys are always having the SSG group, always the Shararti Bachas. So you are not alone on that group. By having said this one, you utilize your learning in the Toastmaster, and you are spreading the knowledge and the wisdom among University of Lahore. That is a big thing. So we know that we are knowledgeable, but the best thing is that when you know that you are knowledgeable, it's a good to spread the knowledge among others. By having said this one, let me request my panel so they can give you the more information about this one. And let me request for the visuals, DTM Saad Sheikh.
Thank you very much, DTM Saif and Toastmaster Muslim. It's actually the first time I'm listening to your speech, and I'm absolutely blown away by the energy you have brought throughout your speech. As for the visual element, I believe the best part was your background, which is plain and all of the focus of the of the viewer was on you when you went left, when you went right. So well done on that. And just one point to work upon would be, I believe, yes, the movement was there, but at time the movement was too much, and so we weren't able to catch the content of the speech, and because we were more focused on on the excessive moment you were doing. Just that's a minor thing. Overall, well done. Back to you, lead evaluator, DTM sir.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the auditory part, and we have among us Toastmaster Khurram Saeed. Could you please take over?
Thank you, DTM Saifali Sheikh, the lead evaluator. Toastmaster Mozam Azam, congratulations for delivering the icebreaker for the second part. It was a very catchy, interesting speech. You were highly energetic. I can see and hear that you are using a lot of voice modulation, adding a high pitch, a low pitch, and you are adding the smiley sound. That's great. I think the important thing here is that continue from the beginning of the speech till end of the speech in one tone. So that modulation is there, but that is continuing in one go. So that's is at beginning it's very catchy, but if it continues in that way, the audience is getting bored. So I think it's very important to work on the pauses. So once you pause in the right moment, it separates your speech or what you want to say and what you want to start. So that's the important thing from the audio perspective, from the sound perspective, that you are going up, you're going down, but you're doing it so frequently and you are taking no pauses. So that's the important part I would recommend to improve. Overall, it was a great speech. Very interesting to see that. Good luck with your pathway. Over to you, lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Khurram. Let's move toward the perceptible, and to do the perceptible, Toastmaster DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. And you came across as someone who you exactly are, a young, energetic person, not like someone who's trying to pick up riding a bicycle after 25 years. So that contrast was cruel and very prominent. So congratulations on that. I especially love the fact that you did not hold anything back. You presented all of yourself right before us, and that takes great courage. And that was lovely and refreshing to see. You did not put up any airs. You did not try to pretend to be someone you're not. And we saw you plain and simple. And we did not even realize that we were looking at you through a camera. Again, as far as the whole impact on the audience is concerned, I will just repeat what some of my earlier evaluators said, that the constant high energy and high tone of voice reduced the impact a little bit. By the time you got to the end of the speech, maybe a little more variation could have impacted the audience more. But in terms of your preparation, your confidence, everything was spot on. Over to you, Mr. Lead Evaluator.
Thank you very much. And now I'm going to do the structures part of the speech. And Toastmaster Mozam Azam, it was well structured, but the pace was little high. So you're not giving the understanding to the audience to understand what you are saying. Just slow it down so it is easy for all that we can understand what you are saying about it. But having said this one, keep it up with the same structure, but slow down your pace so it will give impact to audience. By having said this one, but I request Toastmaster Mozam Azam, please tell about the feedback you are getting from evaluators.
Thank you so much for such a valuable feedback from the panel of evaluators. I just experienced first time that we in Toastmasters we can have a panel of evaluators. So that is a great thing, and I learned two to three things. That there are many hand movements in my speech, and there is a pace of my speech. So I got two recommendations, and inshallah I will work on it. And before next speech, in next speech, you will see a better change, inshallah. Thank you so much. Over to the lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mozam. Please keep it up and join the Quantum Leap Toastmaster. So we'll learn from you a lot. And by having said this, let's hand over control back to the Toastmaster of the day. And we are now 11:42. We are behind the schedule. Please make up so we can conclude our meeting on time.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So, fellow Toastmaster and guests, the prepared speeches have come to an end, and Mr. Timer have both the prepared speakers qualified.
Yes, all prepared speakers are qualified, is delivered this speech within a time. So all are qualified. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And DTM Tala, the polls are ready, and thank you very much. And while we all vote, let's move on to a very interesting part of a Toastmaster meeting, which is the table topic. So over to you, DTM Sudarshan, the table topic master. You aren't audible. No,
Am I
you
audible?
aren't. Yes, now you are.
Okay. Great. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is that segment of our meeting which calls upon you to put on your dancing shoes. Why? Because you're going to speak on your feet. What do we do in table topics? I will give you a topic. You're expected to speak impromptu on the spot on that particular topic for a minimum of a minute, for a maximum of 2 minutes, with a grace period of 30 seconds after the 2 minutes are over. So the timing cards will be shown as 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes. And the objective of this particular segment is to enable the speakers to be able to deliver a speech when they are called upon to do so. So without further ado, let's get into the session itself. We will have 3 speakers today in the interest of time. So to be the first speaker, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Muazzam. Please unmute yourself, and your topic is music. Music crosses communication barriers. Music crosses communication barriers. Do you agree, Toastmaster Muazzam?
Okay, thank you so much, DTM Sudarshan, for such a beautiful topic. I think that I understood the meaning of this. Music crosses communication barrier. So yes, at some extent, I agree with that, at some extent, because there are many types of music nowadays. There are many types in that. With some of that, we refer beautiful things, we refer natural things, we refer beautiful romantic things. But most of the music in nowadays, that is unethical, that is awkward, wait for our old generations, wait for our parents. When we used to sing a song, when we used to call our music in front of our parents, they will be like, hey, what are you doing? What is this? The music was in our time. That was Lataji. That was Nurjahan. So what are you doing nowadays? This is not, they are just screaming. They're just screaming. So that is, at some extent, I accept that music crosses communication barriers, but most of the singers are not doing this. They're just putting the instrumental fact in their voice and just sharing in that. And our young generation, unfortunately, our young generation make it viral, make it viral, make it viral. And that is the bad impact of our society as well. Over to the table topic master, DTM Sudarshan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Muazzam. I can't help but agree with you at one level, because when my sons listen to rap, I say exactly that. But when I listen to my kind of music, they come and say, how boring. So you got it spot on. Thank you so much. The next speaker I would like to call upon is Toastmaster Khurram. Could you unmute yourself, Toastmaster Khurram?
Yes, table topic master.
The topic for you is a picture does not always speak 1,000 words. A picture does not always speak 1,000 words. Do you agree? Toastmaster Khurram Chishti.
Mona Lisa. For some, it speaks maybe a billion words. Since my childhood, when I realized that some people, I mean, the moment I realized that there are pictures and the paintings and there are painters around the world, since that day, believe me, I'm struggling for the last almost 25 years to understand a single word from that very picture. And to me, it's just an old middle-aged lady saying nothing. I mean, come on. I have read the reviews, my friend. One horizon is up, one horizon is down. Look from here, she's smiling. Look from here, she is sad. I mean, in which part of the world, who's those people are? I mean, come on. I mean, 25 years. Every month I look at that very picture. And I'm struggling. There is no single word. A simple old middle-aged lady saying nothing. I mean, whose are those people really? Even, can you believe me? I went 5 times in Paris and I went to the museum and I stand deliberately there for 20 minutes in front of the picture at each side. Nothing. I mean, she's still the same. And this curse is following me, as I said, from last 25 years. And now you have asked me, thank you very much, so I can vent my pain. I mean, if somebody knows how Mona Lisa is smiling and sad, having upper horizon and lower horizon, and all those stuff which those artistic evaluators are saying, please help me at chishstipk@hotmail.com. Thank you very much. Over to you.
chishstip.k@hotmail.com. Please be ready. A lot of emails are coming your way. Thank you so much. And the last topic goes to Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur. Toastmaster Ahmed, could you please unmute yourself? Are you there with us, Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur?
Yes, I'm here.
Great. And would you be able to switch on your camera or?
Yes, I'll be able to. Just a second.
Sure. Perfect.
All right.
I can see you and hear you. The topic for you is language is not required for communication. Language is not required for communication. Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur.
Thank you, Table Topics Master. Well, when we are born, we do not speak any language. We learn it over a period of time, but that also in many years. But before that, we do something that is not language, but still understood by our mothers, our parents, and they feed us, they clean us, they bathe us, they do everything that we need. They put us to sleep. And I'm facing this these days with my children as well. My son, out of nowhere, starts crying. And when we gave him his milk bottle, he did not take it. And then we know that he has done something inside the pamper that we need to clean. Similar thing happened to my daughter. She goes to a corner, she's standing there, and whenever someone comes near her, she simply pushes them away. What she's doing her business. And we know now that what she's doing without her saying it. And sometimes she gets irritated. And we know now it's time to clean up. So we understand that the language does not need words, but what it needs is emotions. We all express ourselves with many emotions. It might be with our eyes, it might be with our face expressions, and it might be with any other thing, like giving someone a flower, sitting on our knees and showing a ring to someone. This all is expressing ourselves, not with words, but with symbols and gestures. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur. With that, we come to the end of the table topic session. Could I please request the timer to share the timings for all the three speakers?
Thank you. All speakers have talk on table talk on within time, so all are qualified. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Excellent. DTM Talha, if you could float the polls. Yes, the polls are here. Could you please vote for your favorite table topic speaker? And with that, I shall hand over the stage back to our TMOD.
Thank you very much, DTM Sudarshan and all of the speakers for a very humorous table topic session. And now, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's time to widen your earshot, because it's time for the general evaluation session, and we have a hard taskmaster to do so, who is Toastmaster Imran Rana, the Area 1 Director and the former admin manager. So over to you, Toastmaster Imran.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day and the Area Director, Area 11. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome to the General Evaluation segment, in which we are going to talk about the areas of improvement and where we did great. To start the session, first we're going to have the reports from the facilitator. I think the camera is not working properly, so it's better to switch off the camera. So first we're going to take the reports from the facilitator, and then I'll give my brief overall view about today's meeting. So we have two role holders today. First one is the language evaluator plus the word master. And for that report, I would request distinguished Toastmaster Talha to please present his report. Over to you.
Thank you so much, and apologies in advance. It's going to be a long report because there was so much to cover. I'll try to go through it as quickly as possible. First of all, the word of the day was used, to my knowledge, twice, once incorrectly and once correctly by DTM South. So congratulations. Now, what I loved about the usage was, first of all, our keynote speaker, she said that a percentage of children which, and then she corrected herself instantly and she said who. So that was very impressive. And that is something so great to realize, that we have misspoken and we need to correct and to do it in real time. So you are a true speech therapist, Toastmaster Zahra Ibrahim. You know all the techniques and you apply them on yourself as well. Congratulations on that. Red flags of hearing impairment. Keynote had a great flow, and I particularly noticed that the language of the project was very consistent with the nature of the project, which we don't always see. Someone said, I was astonished, totally insane to call them deaf and dumb. A very strong and very beautiful statement. Enlightening, look like you, smell like you, or speak like you. When DTM Sudarshan takes the stage, the language, it's hell for language evaluators because there's so much to note. Steel TMOD's thunder, freshly minted expatriate, common pitfall, hey presto. Then in the evaluations, we saw some very creative phrases. I only managed to note some of them. Cherry on the cake, dangerous stuff, magical, incredible. Why am I highlighting magical and incredible? Not because they were said for my speech, but because they are excellent substitutes for the word excellent and amazing that we tend to use overall. So yes, this was my one point about the meeting, that please don't use amazing and excellent for everything like I do most of the time. There are other words like magical, incredible, superb, splendid, you name it. Try to use them. Then someone said they ended their speech beautifully by saying we learn by doing. And why am I highlighting that? Those 4 words summarize the entire speech exceptionally well. Congratulations, Toastmaster Muazzam Azam. Put your dancing shoes on. Who would think that someone would use it in terms of table topics? So amazing job once again. Old middle-aged ladies saying nothing. This was the highlight of the day for me. You summed up Mona Lisa and like 500 years of artistic appreciation in one sentence. I cannot praise you highly enough for that. One may or may not agree with your critical evaluation of Mona Lisa, but what I can get behind is the useless stuff critics say about useless things all the time. And they're enemies of things that are easily understood. And if anything is easily understood or appreciated by a large number of people, it is instantly termed as low quality by the critics. And instead, they deliberately go into obscure directions to find things that don't exist. So kudos on that. When we were born, we do not speak any language. What a beautiful sentence by Toastmaster Ahmed Shagur, and it set up his table topic so well. It seemed as if he had prepared it in advance. So congratulations on that. And then language does not need words, it needs emotions. Amazingly done. I wonder if someone had leaked the table topic to you in advance because it was like a prepared speech. The tone of prepared speeches was in line with the topic. I who had picked up a bicycle after more than 2 decades, my language was according to that. And Toastmaster Muazzam's language and expression was him personified. So congratulations on that. Now we come to the misuses or corrections. Someone said I'm highlight time, should have been will highlight time. Extra words some were used during the keynote, basically so and you know, but congratulations Zara, today you did not, you used moreover only once, so congratulations on that. Someone said AKUH should have been defined. What is AKUH? Because many people would not know. Someone said more better should have been just better. Someone said cannot able to hear should have been is not able to hear. Much more brighter could have just been brighter. And one of the speakers used I'm gonna twice. And you know, such casual usage makes sense in context. So when you're reporting someone speaking in a casual tone, then this makes sense. But when you put it in the middle of a speech, that breaks the tone of the speech, which was otherwise very well written, very well performed. But when you suddenly, and we all fall victim to it because we are not native speakers, but this is worth remembering that when you are making a prepared speech, try to use proper non-slang words for everything that you're saying. When you're reporting dialogue, yes, you're free to use words like I'm gonna. Then I was backbencher was repeated twice, and that also broke the flow of the meeting a bit. And yeah, I'm done. Suddenly I'm done with the language evaluator. Over to you, general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Talha, for such a wonderful report. Now we are quickly request our timer to please share his report. Over to you, Toastmaster Faizan. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Marwana. Language evaluator takes 5 minutes and 47 seconds because a lot of things to share. So he need more time. So he managed in the minimum time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Faizan. Now I would like to quickly give my overall view about today's meeting. The best part of this meeting is that it always starts on time. So hats off to the XCOM of Quantum Leap. Minutes were presented and approved. That was wonderful. I like the way the president follow-ups with the VP Education, Treasurer, and the VP membership about the dashboard report. So it was quite inspiring. Toastmaster of the day started the whole meeting with a great tone, and just only one. Okay, the speeches were amazing. The table topic session was outstanding. Both speeches were quite interesting and inspiring. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim, for your wonderful and inspiring and quite valuable keynote speech. But I have one complaint with the Toastmaster of the day, since he did not read my question. So the only suggestion for this, that if there are no guests, then instead of requesting the role players to explain their roles, maybe Toastmaster of the day can give brief introduction about the role. So overall, it was a wonderful breakfast. To attend a Quantum Leap meeting. So with that, I would like to hand over the charge to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Master Imran Rana, for that general evaluation session. And now, fellow Toastmastering guests, let us communicate our votes across for the best big three. So, TTM Tala, can you please launch the polls while I hand back charge to the president, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. Over to you, sir.
Myself first, so I'm unmuted one. So thank you very much. Whilst the poll for the big three is going to conducted, and in the same time, I will request Toastmaster Ahmed Shakur for your quick comments on the meeting. Ahmed, you are here with us. Let me ask Toastmaster Faizan.
Thank you, Saif Sheikh. It was nice session. A lot of things to learn, a lot of things to learn how to develop in communication skills. So I think it was great sessions, and all speakers is present prepared very well speeches and present very well manner, and all evaluators evaluate every speech critically and provide this feedback. So it was nice session at my end, and thank you.
Thank you very much. And at the same time, I'm requesting Muazzam Azam for quick comment, please.
Yes, sir. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So for me, sir, literally, it is the first advanced Toastmaster Club of Pakistan Toastmasters. It was an honor for me to join this club. And thank you so much for everyone that you waited for me. I was not able to join because of electricity issue. It was a wonderful thing. And I learned one new thing, that when you have a panel of evaluators, then you can learn a lot and you can get a more feedback, more valuable feedback. And I would appreciate this thing to have a panel of evaluators who prepare speakers. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. May I request our vote counter, please make the announcement of the winner.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Yes, the polls are ready. Best speaker for surprisingly has gone to me. You guys voted, so you know. Best evaluator goes to DTM Saif Ali Sheikh, though by a very slim margin. Both evaluators received a lot of votes. Congratulations. Best round robin evaluator goes to Toastmaster Khurram Saeed. Congratulations. Best table topics again goes to Toastmaster Khurram Saeed, anyone's guess. And finally, best big three goes to our table topics master, DTM Sudarshan. So over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vote Counter, fellow Toastmaster. It was a great day, and we have an excellent meeting. Once again, the same thing. And whenever we are in the contemplate, we are going home with the big plate. So similarly, we are going to have our next meeting in the 4th Saturday of the month. And by having said this one, it is we are exceeding the time limit today. And by this, I am adjourning this meeting officially. Please unrecord now.
Thank you so much, sir. And yes, now